What's up out there, collectors? We're back. It's time to unbox the Hot Toys Ahsoka Clone Wars figure. It's been a long time coming. Really excited for this one. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and come check us out. Hit that bell. You'll know when we go live. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out. I'm going to unbox, I think, from this view. Cut this bad boy open. What do you say? I feel like the tape they got on here is a little tougher this time. I guess I'm not opening it with my box cutter. I got my shitty knife. All right. So a lot of people have been mixed on this figure, you know? A lot of people have been mixed on this figure. It's been a lot of people that either love this figure or they hate this figure. So it's going to be interesting to see my reaction to it. Sorry if that was loud. It's going to be interesting to see my reaction to this figure because I'm new to Hot Toys. I haven't really, I don't know. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 Hot Toys now. This will be my 7th. And you know, I'm rather new to the game, so I'm sure other people have probably seen you know, more than I have. So anyway, let's get this paper off of here. I always ask them to double box it. I don't know why. I think it costs like a couple extra bucks, but I'm anal. I'm just always worried that, I mean, you spend so much for these things. I think this figure is like 250 bucks. So I mean, you don't want them to come messed up. Boom. Here we are. Bada bing, bada boom, everybody. All right, back to Ahsoka. So SWTC, Ahsoka Tano. Got more tape. More tape. Knife is so old, such a crappy knife. I don't know where I put my box cutter. I feel like it fell somewhere before while I was getting set up. So you got the top cardboard, as always. Throw that out of the way. And I always like to try, sometimes I get it backwards. I always like to try to show you guys the pull out of the box, right? That's the, oh shit. Here we go. You guys ready? How's it look? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, yeah. Love it. Oh, I forgot that she comes with the cloak. The cloak is really cool. So if anybody has seen, I don't think the cloak was Clone Wars. I think that was Rebels, right? I think where she showed up in the, I don't know, it wasn't as cream as that one. The one she showed up in, excuse me, in Rebels was more, it was more like stark white, like almost Leia white, you know? Unboxing Boney. All right. That's a really cool pose, though. But we'll get into why I am scared to do a pose like this very soon. We'll get into that. We'll get into that pretty soon. Why I don't like one thing I'm scared or nervous about with this figure. We will get into that because this will be my first figure that has such feature. So get ready for that. Let's see. A little bit of scuffing on the box there. I'm not really a fan of that. So I don't display the boxes. I do love them though. I think they are a piece of art in and of themselves, the boxes. I really like them. I love how they do this little art wraparound piece. I think that's nice. It's just always a nice presentation straight out of the box. You know, when you're getting ready to unbox, you got a nice base, you know, pose there that you could try to do. Always nice. And then I love how they include the little inner covers right here. This is more of a pose that we will probably try to do. Keep this in your head. This is probably almost exactly what we will try to do in the end. And I will show you the difference between that and that pose and why I'm scared to do this one. Right? We'll get into that. We'll get into it. All right. So, Ahsoka Tano. I'm so glad they made this figure, guys. I'm so glad they made this figure. I never thought they would actually make an Ahsoka figure, but she's become so popular, and for good reason, that people just love her. I mean, you gotta love her character. Yeah, there was some bumpy ground in the start, but you know, we got by that. Oh, let me show you guys the shell. So here we are in the plastic shells. Kind of what it looks like, what you'll be looking at when you open the box and take the slip cover off the top. First tray out is going to be some hands and lightsabers. So let's go ahead and switch over to the close-up camera. I think it will be better for what we're doing here. Okay. So here we go. We got hands. We got sabers. Hands and sabers. Pretty standard for a Jedi. Or is she? I'll let you decide. Alright, so you take this top tray out. Looks like we've only got one tray. Just one deep tray here. So usually that's, you know, it's a little different. Usually you see the base in another tray and stuff in the bottom, but they've got it all kind of packed into one here. It looks good so far. I don't see any glaring mistakes. Always try to look to see if they've repackaged it in any way. Like somebody sent this one back and it's a Sideshow second and they just sold it as a new one, but looks all right. There is a lot of scuffing on the packaging, which is not usually normal, but okay, I can look by that. It's been on a ship for a long time, I think, because I do not believe these are made in America, unfortunately. They might be, I don't know. Parts of them might be. Man, that top shell did not want to come off. All right. Hair goals? Is that what you said? The first thing I notice opening this box, it isn't even the cloak that draws my eyes. Not the cloak. You probably know what it is that's drawing my eye. It's these little guys. You get the best holograms with this set. So here we go. We got, I hate trying to show these off because they're tiny, especially this Yoda. But we got a little Yoda there. Yoda hologram, right? Isn't that sweet? I think that's pretty cool. So we got a little Yoda. I have no idea how to show that any better than what I'm showing it. So I apologize. But that's as good as it gets, guys. All right. Pretty cool. We got a little Yoda. All right. Move 3D printed Vader farther out of the way here. So we got Yoda. We have another great hologram. We got the man himself, Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, just sitting there doing a straight mug. Like, Ahsoka, what are you even trying to do? Love it. Love it. These are very Star Wars. I love the holograms. I love that you could switch them out between the different characters too. So I've got quite a few now, different characters. So pretty cool. I actually have an Ahsoka hologram that came with the Clone Wars Anakin. And then we have Mr. Obi-Wan himself, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's in what looks like his garb He's not in like his Clone Wars garb or his armor, but he's in like his robes, like he would be if he was at Coruscant. So kind of a traditional Obi-Wan, I guess you would say. It would have been kind of cool if he was in his Clone Wars armor. I guess the Anakin, no, he doesn't have the shoulder pauldrons on, so he's kind of not really in Clone Wars attire either. Hey, I can get over it. That's a small nitpick, right? Small nitpick. So there's the holograms. That's kind of the first thing you notice. We have, as always, I think there's no telling how many thermal detonators I have now, but we have, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but we have a thermal detonator. I think everybody's seen these before. Hot Toys, they're pretty standard. I think they come with every figure now. We have the hollow base, so this is just the base that the hollows stick into. Crazy there. We have the eye mover, LI maneuverable, which I think moving the eyes on this figure is more important than any other figure that even has the feature, because for some reason her blank expression that she has, like straight out of the box, when she's looking straight on, it almost looks like 2 museum pose-ish. But if she's kind of like looking over to the side, it makes the facial expression work a little better. I don't really know how to explain it. We might play with that a little bit here in the while. I've never played with the eye stuff before, so we'll get to maybe do that together here in a little. So the next thing, I guess we'll take all the accessories out first. So we have the cloak. So here we go, cloak. Very nice. It has wire down the front here, down both sides of the front, and then also in the hood there's a wire around the inner little loop there, so that you can kind of position it around her face and such. So very cool. It doesn't have a print. It almost kind of does to a degree, but I think that's more of just how the fabric is. But it does have a little bit of like a texture to it. It not much. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'll put it as close to the camera as I can. I hope it doesn't fade out. But, I like it. I think the cloak is probably how I might display her with the cloak. I don't know. I may have to think of a pose to do it. But, because I do want sabers out too. And I don't know how the sabers will work with the cloak, but we'll see. So back to the lightsaber and hand tray here. So we have one standard, which is her long lightsaber here. So one lightsaber, which is kind of her longer one. As you know, she is a dual wielding lightsaber aficionado. If I can get the other one out. So here you have the shorter one, which I believe she keeps the shorter one in her right hand. I'll have to check that to be sure. Can't really remember. But you have the 2 lightsabers. I think the smaller one goes in her right hand. I can't remember if she's right-handed or left-handed. I know. I'm not a real Star Wars fan. Okay. Straight up, they got the wishy-wish sword. So, wishy-wish, I think these come, and then you got the shorter one as well. I don't think I've ever displayed with the moving blade. Some people are good at making this look realistic in a pose. I'm not really that great of a poser yet. Not really that great of a poser yet, but we'll get there, chat. Okay, so, and then we got some hands. Just kind of... looks like this one could hold the saber while also doing kind of like a force point type of thing. So, I don't know. That's kind of an interesting hand. I kind of like it. We have just straight up saber hand, looks like. Another saber hand. Nothing crazy there. I don't think I need to show those all that crazily. And same as the last one, just a regular fisted saber holding hand. You know, there's not a lot. Well, I take that back. There is some good weathering. So now that we're kind of actually getting into the figure, a lot of people were complaining that some of her outfit, which I kind of see what they're talking about in some areas, but I've seen a lot of people complain that the weathering wasn't really there. But I disagree. I can see it on the pauldrons there. So I think that's, you know, I don't think she was typically one to be like super heavily battle damaged. So, you know, I don't expect to see a lot of damage on her. This is something that they give you because we're going to talk about this in a little bit. This is a mistake they made with this figure, I believe. These are some little pegs. What these little pegs do is they allow you to attach the saber to her waist, which I think in the day and age of magnets, Hot Toys has got very good with using magnets, very good with putting the jetpacks, all different kinds of accessories. Rex has like a toolbox kind of thing that goes here on his chest that's magnetic. The fact that they did not make the sabers magnetic and just make them click to the side of her, stupid. I can't put any other words to that than stupid. But I don't want to. I don't want to fiddle with this thing when I'm trying to put her sabers on. I'm not trying to like plug a little thing into her side and then plug the lightsaber into it. Just make it a magnet. Why? Why not make it a magnet? Why didn't you make it a magnet? Oh man, Hot Toys, you really confuse me sometimes. You really do. I mean, well, we're not going to go on a soapbox. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. This is just a fist, so you can't even put anything in that one. It's just a fist. I don't really know. I don't know. What would you do with a fist with Ahsoka? Why would you not? Okay. And then you have extra arm pegs. You know, always they give you those. So we have plenty of those. I don't know. That saber thing just really pissed me off. You know, I don't like that. I don't like that I just paid $250 for this figure. With all of the upgrades you guys have done to the other figures recently, I understand this one's been heavily delayed and they probably weren't doing any magnet stuff before this one. Okay, I understand. That's true. But that's not how you do it. Not how you do it. Don't do it again and we'll be okay. All right, Hot Toys? All right. Okay. Now for the main event. The goddess herself with plastic still on. We'll get to the base here in a minute. Just get that to the side. Show you with plastic. There she is, straight out. So they do a good job of wrapping up her kind of pauldron or her tentacles and stuff back here. So they do a good job of that. Or montrals, I think is what they call it, not tentacles. I'm sorry. But I like how they did that to preserve the paint. So let's go ahead and slip that off. Really good. And then let's slip this under one out. Wow, they really did that to cover the bottom too. And the montrals are posable. So, you know, yeah. Hey man, if you're going to get the sponsorship, you got to be honest. So I'm going to be honest. If something pisses me off like that and I think it's stupid, I'm going to call you on it, man. I'll call you out on it all day. These figures are too expensive. They have a lot of shills that will shill for them. But these figures, you know, so no worries there. But these figures are too expensive to try to sugarcoat things that are stupid. That's all I'll say. All right. I was kind of concerned that this plastic wasn't coming off easier, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. These arms, I'm really worried about these arms, guys. I'm not going to lie. The arms worry me. We're about to get into that. Let's see if we can get the boot. Absolutely destroying her. Why is the plastic? Oh, bitch. I scratched this fucking leather. God. Hot Toys. Pissing me off. Pissing. Okay. Let's not do that with this one. The most annoying thing I've ever dealt with. Pisses me off. So dumb. Jesus, that was annoying. I don't know why they packaged the plastic like that. That was stupid. All right. Off the bat, talk about it. Talk about it. What do I think? Off the bat, look at her. Get a good look at her. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. Little. Okay. Yep. All right, let's jump into it, boys. Let's jump right into it. Let's just jump into the hot topic. All right. Let's just jump right into the one that we want to talk about here. I'm really trying not to be triggered right now. I'm a little disappointed with this figure, but it's okay. Okay. It's still a great looking figure. It's going to look great in the box. They did a great job. Most of it's great. I have some complaints. One being the lightsaber. That really ticked me off. But we'll get into the rest of it here in a second. So right off the bat, she looks great. Her costume looks great. Her resemblance to her in the show, I think, looks awesome. I think they did a really good job of trying to mix the Rosario Dawson and the Clone Wars Ahsoka, because I think that's really what they were going for. I don't think they were trying to make it look 100% like the Clone Wars Ahsoka, mainly because Rosario Dawson does play that part now. So I think they were going for a little bit of a mixture between the two. I really like it. I think it looks good. I do think she looks a little bit old here, older. I won't say old. I will say she looks a little older here than I think she should look for this time period in the Clone Wars, because I think this outfit and everything is supposed to be modeled around the last season of the Clone Wars, and she just looks a little bit older than she needs to. She looks like Rebels Ahsoka to me, and not the one that we see at the end of the Clone Wars. So that's all I'll kind of say about her look. I think she looks great. I think her outfit looks great. They really did do some weathering, so you can see some weathering on her. It's really on the armor pieces, so you can kind of see weathering around the outfit on the armored pieces, and even a little bit of stitching weathering. I think this is intentional. There's a little bit of like a stitch hanging off here and things like that. I don't think that's a design flaw. I think that's a little bit of weathering that they did into the costume, which I think looks good overall. One thing that they didn't weather, and you can kind of go down and see the greaves, or not the greaves, but the pauldrons and stuff here on her feet. Also have some nice weathering. So I think, overall, I think they nailed the look. I think she looks good. The one thing I'll say is that her leggings and some of the leather pieces of her costume are not weathered. And, I'm kind of okay with that. It would make sense that the armor is really more weathered than the actual undergarments and stuff, because I'm assuming that she's changing those. That's kind of just in my canon in my head. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. Into the actual particulars of the figure. Love the head sculpt. I don't believe so. We get the normal base, and the front of it just fell off. Hopefully that pops back on. We get the normal base there. We get a waist grabber, which we will get into in a minute. Not that either. But there's not another head sculpt. So this is it. This is the head sculpt you get. There's no other facial expressions. So I hope that, everybody likes that one, because that's the one that you're going to get. You can change her eyes around, so that is a possibility. But you know, yeah, she looks constipated. Yeah, wasn't the best angle on the face there either. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to show it. We're gonna get a stand for this camera that's on the table, but I don't have it yet. So anyway, that's her facial expression. So now on to the actual particulars of the figure. The arms. The arms, as you might have noticed if you collect Hot Toys, are seamless. There is no elbow joint, right? There's no elbow joint. This is like a kind of plasticky rubber skin feeling, like almost like what Stretch Armstrong was made out of. That's kind of what this feels like. So if you can imagine that's kind of what the texture of it feels like. But there's no joint. So you can bend her arm. So we're gonna bend it. You can bend her arm. And you can get quite a bit of bend in it. I'm scared to bend it. You can bend her arm, so see how it's kind of bent there. And you even get, I don't know if you guys can see this in the camera, but you even get kind of a little natural indentation, like her elbow has a natural indentation like your elbow does when you bend it. I think that is amazing. I think that's really, really cool. However, you can even notice in the crease of her arm here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, in the crease of her arm right here, there's like a little bit of a wrinkle. There's a wrinkle in the actual material of the elbow, and over time, that silicone, if you leave it in a bent state like that, it's going to either crack or it's going to tear. So I think most people are going to pose her, including myself, in straight arm poses. So I'm going to have like something like her saber, you know, kind of out. We might bend it a little bit and then like another one back behind her, kind of like this. And so we're going to do something where her arms are straight, because I am terrified of bending this material and having it break down over time and there being a hole or a rip in my Ahsoka. That sounds like a nightmare. I love the idea of the seamless elbow. I really do. Love the idea of the seamless elbow. I think that's amazing that this is kind of what they're starting to think about. They're just going to have to make this material stronger. Whether they make it stronger right here just in the elbow joint or they make the whole thing stronger, they're going to have to figure that out. So that's one thing about that. The other thing about her arm, you can see it in person. I'm not sure you guys will be able to see it, but if you look at her arm, like where the side of her arm, where the muscle would go down, there's a seam that runs down the side of this arm. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it's on the other arm too. So there's a seam on that arm, and then there's also a seam on this arm. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe you can see it if I just stand her up like this. But there's definitely a seam down the side of it. Now, when she's in the cabinet and you're backed up off of that, you can't see it. It almost looks like muscle toning when you're back away from it a good bit. But when you're up on it, you can clearly see that it's where they put the arm together. So they put the arm together around some type of bendable material, probably to make it bendable. And the seal creates a little bit of a seam up her arm. You know, not terrible, but you know, they got to work on it. I love the idea of it. Glad they are trying to do that type of stuff. But yeah, we'll reserve judgment for how we feel about the seamless arms. Going down, you know, love the outfit. We've already talked about that. I think that's great. I think she's rather posable, you know, in all ways, shapes, and forms. She has pretty good bend. She bends and everything pretty good. I'm pretty sure her legs come almost to a 90, so you have pretty good motion in the legs. The arms do the 360 still, so I mean, you can still swivel the arm all the way around. There is a ball joint right up here, so you can still swivel the arm. But it just makes me so nervous to do that. So that's just, it is what it is. Where did Ahsoka go? Sorry, my gaming PC was on. You can hear my bros. All right. What we're talking about, legs going down. Like I said, I like the material on the legs. It is rather clean compared to the rest of the uniform or her outfit, but you know, it is what it is. The boots here, like the boots, you know, I'm good with it. I think they did good weathering. I think the paint apps are good. The leather is actually a pretty nice leather. The only problem I have with this shoe boot design, there's really no way to bend the foot. See that? So there's a little bit of bend. You can do a little bit there, kind of forward. You really can't bend up. But because of the way the boot is all leather and there's no crease or anything there, it just, there's no maneuverability there. And there's really no maneuverability side to side. So that's kind of a minus. That's not a huge negative for me because I think you can still work with it and make poses and things work. But that is a little bit annoying, you know, given everything else with the figure right now. I'm a little bit annoyed with some things on this figure, so we'll go over pros and cons in the end. But overall, I do love the figure, but I think there are ways that they could have made it better. So do a little pose here. I think I'm going to do a pose with the cloak on, so we'll put the cloak on. Let me try to get the base back up and running here so that we can get the waist grabber on there. Waist grabber. We'll get into that in a second. This is another dum-dum. This is a dum-dum. Why do this? Why a waist grabber? Especially for a figure that naturally has like a skirt or something like this, where a crotch grabber would be very much concealed. Why do the waist grabber? I feel like this is so unnecessary to have this around her waist. We'll show it to you in a minute because it's how I'm gonna have to. I don't have another crotch grabber, so that's what I'm gonna have to use. But yeah, I mean, there are some things, Scroggins, with this figure. Damn, she do got a booty on her though. I tried to set her down, so I tried to set Ahsoka down, and the first thing that hit the table was her ass. That's kind of funny. Oh man. All right. This did. Yeah. Okay. They spelt the name right. If we can get this popped back on. Or again, they went for some reason the adhesive on the plastic that they used this time and the tape, like a whole nother level. I don't know if it's because it's been in packaging so long or what. Annoying. Okay, same typical base. They didn't do the sand base for her, which is kind of strange to me. They did the typical Star Wars just gridded pattern. There is a little bit of a, like, I don't know, paint effect on there. I don't really know. This looks different than all the other bases to me. I don't really like it. Let's do. This crotch grabber doesn't even fit this base. This doesn't fit. I am trying. All right, well, they're about to send me another base. What is that horse shit? The damn peg is too... The peg is too big. Can't push it in. This is too big for that hole. Oh man, if I didn't have to return this, I would throw this fucking thing across the room. Ooh, man. What? I mean, and like because I was trying to force it in, I like scratched the base a little bit. Dude, I'm so pissed. They better send me another base. It doesn't fit. It's not even anywhere close to fitting. So not only do you put this shitty waist grabber in here for a figure that obviously needs a crotch grabber, you put a waist grabber into the box, and the waist grabber doesn't even fit into the damn hole. Hot Toys. This is not like you. This is some sideshow shit. Man, I'm not happy. I love the figure. It's an Ahsoka figure. It's an Ahsoka figure. Didn't ever think you were gonna get one. You got one. It's a nice figure. All right. It's gonna be impossible to make her stand in a fucking reasonable stand without. Oh my god, I'm so pissed about that right now. Okay, just ignore it. Ignore it. All right, we're gonna put the cloak on. We're gonna put the cloak on. Did that not come unbuttoned? To the instruction manual we go. There's like a clasp on the neck that looks like it unbuttons, but I'm afraid I'm gonna tear the damn thing open. Not supposed to. Oh, you have to take her head off to put the damn cloak on. All right. We're going in. We're going in again, Hot Toys. Here we go. Stupid mistake. I don't even know what we're up to here. I'm lost count. I'm not happy. This clasp easily should have either been a clasp and or a magnet. It is neither. You have to take the entire head sculpt off of Ahsoka. So I risk messing up the paint apps on her face right here because I'm trying to pull her fucking head off. Unnecessary. Oh man, this is so unnecessary. Now, how do you pull her head off again? Because apparently you got to put the whole damn cloak around her head. Why is this not in a magnetic clasp? I don't like it when they make it too complicated like that. That is. I don't like that. I love the cloak. I love how you can pose it. You can make it flop in the wind. But why is that not just a clasp? That's so stupid. We got the cloak on. Jesus. Pretty sweet. I do love the cloak. Cloaked look. Love the cloaked look. I should just be able to slip this on and off. Now if I want to change her pose, like if I didn't want to do this, it's such a pain in the ass to take that back off. Alright. I think we have the cloak kind of blowing back. This. We're going to have her arms kind of a saber stance here. I'm going to do this. And that it has some bend to it, but that cloak doesn't have a ton of bend to it. Okay. Now I think we're going to have to change her hands. Trying to get her steady and then I'll turn her around. Since we don't have a freaking stand holder. Okay, there she is. And I think I'm going to basically have the saber holding hands. And I'm trying to figure out. All right, chat. Kells Bells, this is a mission for you. What hand, quiz time for the chat, all right? What hand does she hold her shorter lightsaber with? Which hand is it? Go. Go. First person to answer gets a prize. Yeah, Google it. The shorter one is in her left hand. Okay. Your prize is you get to live with me for the rest of your life, Kells Bells. That's the best prize. Well, tough to get in there. But I want her feet pretty close together. So hold on, I'm gonna turn her around. Give me a second. Might be hard to do since grab her. The more I use. These seamless arms, I don't like them. I want her cape blowing. So very simple pose. There's going to be a very simple one. Sorry. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Check this out, chat. I mean, even though it's very simple pose. Blam. What do you guys think of that? I think that's pretty cool. Boom. That's pretty sweet. Let's pull her back a little bit. I think her head high in the shot there. Pull her back. Maybe we'll pan the camera up just a tad. Get a good shot of her here. Yep. Yep. I like it. I like it. I think she has great shelf presence. Honestly, even though all of the things that they've done to sour me on this figure, I think they did a good job with it. We will go over the rating here in just a second. There's the pose. I just kind of wanted to do a quick pose, like she had her thing on, she ran into somebody and she was like, blam, pulled the fucking sabers out and was like, I'm about to kick this damn coat off, man, and you're going down. So that was kind of the pose I was going for there. We may do some more later. Like I said, we got the holograms, so we may go back and do some of that. But here we go. We're going to rate it out of 10. We're going to go through pros and cons. So pros right off the bat, I think the look is great. I think the look of the figure, the look is awesome. So as far as what they did with the face sculpt, her montrals, her outfit, her all of that stuff, everything, the sabers, the way her outfit looks, they nailed that part of the figure. Really, really great. I'm not going to take anything off as far as the look. I think everything as far as I didn't run into one thing on the look that I thought was off. I love the face sculpt. I love the montrals. I love the paint details. I love her costume. Great. I love the addition of the cloak. I like all of the different pieces. Now, the cons, and there are quite a few of them. Let's start from the top. Nothing really wrong with the face sculpt, the head. Nothing really wrong with anything up there. One thing I have a problem with is this cloak. I hate that this is not a magnet, a clasp. I hate that you have to take the whole head off in order to fit her head into this and then get the cloak on. I don't think that should be how you have to do that. I think that's a little bit silly. I think that is just not forethought on Hot Toys' part, which is odd for them. But, you know, okay, I can live with it. I can live with it. Going down, we talked about the arms, the seamless arms. I like what they're trying to do. So it's not going to be a huge negative. I know that you can't really put the creases on the arms and it look right. So remember when we unboxed Maul, if you didn't see our Maul unboxing for Clone Wars Maul, go check that out. But he has the creases in his arm when you take off his jacket and stuff like that, and you can see the crease. And while it's not a huge glaring, you can see it. So I like that they tried to do the seamless. They just need to make it more sturdy, make me feel like I can put this in a pose where her arm is bent and I'm not going to ruin my $250 investment. So that's what I need them to do in order to make that make sense. There's a crease, an obvious crease in the arm as well. Won't go too much into that, but there is an obvious crease in the arm. Going on down into the figure, you know, not really any other huge glaring problem. She has plenty of articulation in her legs. The articulation in the arms, because of them being the seamless, is not what I would like it to be. Like, I feel weird trying to like bow her arms out like this and kind of turn them in weird ways, because I feel like I'm just going to tear that material, guys. It does not feel sturdy. That's all I can say. Going on down into here, I think they could have done some better design with the boot here in order to make it where it has a crease in it. I think if they would have even included the crease right here where the basically stitching is on the leather, I don't think you would have been able to tell. I think it would have just looked normal and you would have gotten a lot more bend, because there's some poses where she's very stretched out, like her leg will be stretched out and she's kind of in like a superhero landing pose. And, you know, she needs to have that ankle kind of kicked out, and you won't be able to do that. So, yeah, I think, you know, that is what it is. So, and then let's get to the base. The base is an absolute failure. Not only did the base, when I took it out of the box, the front little things popped off here. You know, it's not a huge thing. It popped right back on, but it's just like, why is this thing so flimsy? Why is this such a piece of crap? And then I hate that it's just this normal base. And then the waist grabber that they gave us doesn't fit into, trying it again, doesn't fit into the hole. So when I was literally trying to force it in, and when I forced it too far, it slipped and it scratched the base. So now I have a scratch on the base, which I'm not happy about, because I'm trying to get their stupid ass shit to fit into the hole. So I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy that that's what they went with. One thing that I missed also, the sabers, and the sabers being able to connect to her sides. Don't just magnetic to her. They don't just magnetic to her side. You literally have to, do you see this little thing on her side here that's kind of like a piece of armor that's on her, like up on her hip? You have to pop that out. So you have to pop that out, pop this little thing onto this piece of the saber where you can kind of see it here where it pops in. You have to pop that into the saber. Then you have to basically pop that into the little holes on her side to make it hook to her side. That is so stupid. That is too much. That to put sabers on. Why don't you just put hooks on her and just let us like hook them on there? That is stupid. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. The side things and then the waist grabber. Terrible mistake. Stop doing these. Stop doing these. They suck. Okay, rant over on that. The whole base, look, the whole base is a failure. Look, the front just fell off again. I really love the figure, guys. Don't get me wrong, but it's things like that that piss me off when you pay what you pay for these figures. And to tell you the truth, the people at Sideshow, while they have awesome customer service, the people that kind of run the roost over there and they run all the YouTube channels and stuff, they're very elitist, very closed off. They don't like to get criticism. And so, you know, when you act like that and then you send me something like this and then I bitch about it and you want to call me, you know, that I'm being, you know, whatever. Yeah, just shut your mouth. Anyway, so this base, total failure. They better send me a new one or, you know, I'm going to be very, very disappointed with Sideshow for that. So overall rating on the figure, overall rating, let's get to it. I think that's everything. I think that's all the cons I have for it. You know, one thing I really do love, you see how I was able to position her montrals so that you can see kind of the way the wind is blowing. Love that. So there's a lot of things I love about this figure. I love the look. It's going to look great in a case with Anakin and Rex and Darth Maul. It's going to look amazing. It's going to look so good. But the figure itself could have been so much better. It could have been so much better. Could have been so much better. So for that reasoning, my rating for this figure, and if you've ever seen like the one bite pizza guy, I rate pretty harshly. Like for you to get into the eights would be a very like solid figure. 9, if you're getting into the 9 territories, like you blew my mind. This thing has, you know, pieces that I'm very you know, enthralled with, enamored with, whatever you want to say. When it really, really hits, that's when you get into the 9s. 7, which is where this is going to land, is in the 7s, is, in my opinion, right at the median. If you were to go below a 7, like a 7.3, you're really getting to where I'm not sure you got your value for the figure. This figure, seven 7.6. That's what the figure is. That's what the rating is. It's my lowest rating on a figure so far. I've never dipped into the 7s. I actually there's a part of me that wants to go 7.5 on this, but because I like the look of it so much, because I like the shelf presence of it so much, I'm going to look past some of the mistakes they made. I'm not going to look past all of them. I'm definitely taking that into account. But I will give them a 7.6 on this figure. I think it's pretty good, you know. So 7.55, 7.6, 7.6. It's a solid figure. A lot of good things about it. And then there's some things I want. Kels, I'm not gonna do the eyes on stream because I don't want to take her all apart again. But we will do it again sometime. All right, collectors, that's it. 7.6 on the figure. It's really, really a great figure. I really enjoyed unboxing it. It really did hit some heartstrings for me as far as the figure itself, the way it looks. Really took me back to that Clone Wars era. Ahsoka, Anakin, Rex, all them running around. Really love that fact of it. But as far as the technical details of the figure, they really could have picked it up on that end. There were just some glaring things that I think they could have done to make this a much better experience and a much better figure overall. So that's why it got kind of a low rating at the 7.6 mark, but it is still a great figure. I would recommend, if you're doing a Clone Wars setup, go ahead, get this figure, put it in your case. You're not going to be disappointed with it from a looks and a shelf presence standpoint. But as far as if you're a big poser and you like to change the poses and you like to do a lot of different dynamic poses, bent arms, action poses, it's not that figure. It's not the figure for you. So anyways, hope you guys had a great time. Really enjoyed unboxing this figure for you. We'll see you again next time. Please hit the like and subscribe and hit the bell. Come hang out with us again, and we'll see you again next time, guys. Peace out.